Hello everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just gone down to Bitcoin. We've got a CoinsKid crew. So right now, a Hotbit, a very popular centralized exchange, has gone down basically. So it's been in operation for 5 years and 4 months. The Hotbit team has been proud to participate in a wonderful crypto show with 5 million users. However, it is with great regret that we have made the decision to stop all CX operations from May 22nd, 4 a.m. We kindly ask all users to withdraw the remaining assets before June the 21st, 4 a.m. So, this is basically gone down right now. And like I've always said to you, not your keys, not your crypto. Please don't leave any funds on an exchange unless obviously you're trading and things like that. But always get your money and your crypto off exchanges and put into your own private wallet, because remember, not your keys, not your crypto. So it's unfortunate. I've actually used Hotbit before many times back in the day, but I've actually jumped onto Bybit and Mexi and BitGet, right now, because obviously I think you can see with Hotbit the volume was dropping off on their exchange as well. So anyway, it's a bit of a bad news, but it is what it is. We'll keep moving on. So let's dive into the charts right now. So looking at this chart, I made a video a few weeks ago saying keep an eye on these two charts. I think it was around about 5 to 6 weeks ago. I think middle of April or something. Keep an eye on two charts. Really important. The DSY and obviously the S&P 500 to give the game away. Right. So what we've done here, and this is something we needed to do, and this happened on Friday last week, is we've actually made a new local high for the year here. So this kind of invalidates the bearish count that I was looking at, in the sense that was an impulsive wave 1. This was a corrective wave 2 coming back to this impulse basically, and then we're looking at another dump. So what we've done here, we've increased the probabilities that this is actually an impulsive wave 1, this was some kind of flat corrective wave 2, and right now the fact that you're breaking that local high and putting a new high for the year for the S&P 500 indicates that this is actually the formation of a wave 3, which is something I'm expecting, okay, and equally in Bitcoin once it bottoms out in its correction. So like I said to you, always try and find confluence in the charts. This is why we've been able to ride the waves on Bitcoin so well since November last year when it broke down, okay. We've just absolutely nailed it, and the inverse correlation, it still exists until it doesn't. So obviously we're trying to find as much confluence in other charts as we can, and right now the fact that this has made a new local high for the year is actually a bullish statement from the S&P 500, okay. So we're looking for Bitcoin to continue. It's kind of looking glass, isn't it, for the crypto market. So right now, providing Bitcoin holds that key level of support that it's going through in that correction, we're all good basically, and this is a kind of time machine or some kind of signal that we need to pay attention to. So on the S&P 500, we have broken this local high, which indicates this sort of negates the fact that that's impulsive, that's corrective for me, and this is something we had to see. So right now I'm leaning more towards the fact that that's impulsive, some kind of flat correction, and right now we're in a 3, okay. So this will start to retrace back down to where it came from. If it holds the support, doesn't fall through the weekly EMAs, which is really important, which I'm going to show you in a moment, then we're all good, and this thing could begin to take off for the remainder of the year, which is what I'm anticipating, which will catch everybody off guard, okay. So right now, if we look at the weekly time frame, this is equally something I brought to your attention a few weeks ago. Has it happened on the S&P 500? We've got the golden cross on the 20 and the 55 EMA, so we've had a positive reaction off that. You can see we came up, came down into it, and right now we're reacting beautifully off this for the S&P 500, okay. So this is looking to continue, and the fact that we've made a new local high for the year, taking out that high, is actually a nice little bullish statement from the S&P 500, okay. Now this particular signal, like I said to you, I think it's occurred roughly 18 times since 1958, and every single time it's led to a new high where it's not lost the load that it's come from, okay. So that's looking good. The outlook at the moment is pretty good, okay, pretty healthy. I know it's a horrible laneless correction. This is what happens. C waves are nasty, like I said to you, trying to pinpoint the bottom, but I'll try and find it as best as I can. Let's dive into some sentiment indicators right now for Bitcoin, okay. So at the moment, the CBBI, which we're keeping an eye on, is currently at 26. We did top out in April at 29. We created some kind of double top, and you can clearly see at the moment on the CBBI, we've kind of got this double top, and we're coming down the stairs a little bit here. So I was anticipating this to sort of get to the sort of low 20s right there. It could absolutely get there. I think we hit 29. I think it was off this bottom here where we ran into 29, sort of same area, then we come back to the low 20s before continuing. And if you take a look here, we've got this sort of dark green zone where we come up, went light green, came back, and then continued. Right now we've got the dark green zone sort of going light green, coming back in the same sort of level as well, 29. So if we get down to the lower 20s, I think that could be a nice little sentiment indicator to marry up with the bottom being in of this particular correction as well for the CBBI. We're not quite there yet, okay. Now this is a lagging indicator, so the likelihood is that Bitcoin will bottom of its C-wave correction before this gets to the low 20s. So we'll keep an eye on this anyway as confluence to, of the fact that we do think the bottom of the correction is in right there. So let's dive into the fear and greed index for Bitcoin. So looking at Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index at the moment, currently sitting in 49. Now I'm expecting, and again, nothing I say is financial advice, but given the setup that I'm looking at in the markets right now and in the charts especially, I'm looking for us to get to that zone before we get to this zone for Bitcoin. But I do think if we do get to this zone before this zone, I think that this zone here will be an opportunity. Okay, so I'm going to go through this with you for Bitcoin. So at the moment, what we're neutral basically. We've had a little bit of a ramp up here into this resistance around about the 70 mark, and right now we're coming back. Now I think if we do start to come back even deeper, start to lose structure, even in this chart we start to lose structure, and obviously in the price action as well, then yeah, we've got to look at, okay, we'll project to the downside and wait till we get all the way back down to the bottom here. Okay, so you can clearly see whenever we've actually been down here in the floor, there's never not been an opportunity, has it? You know, all the time it doesn't feel like an opportunity, just like when we're up here it never feels like an opportunity to take profit. So what I'm expecting, okay, I'm not a perm bull whatever, but it's just data and technicals and things I'm looking at in the chart. From this point here, we should expect Bitcoin to ramp up into this zone here before this particular impulsive move is done. Let me go through this with you. Okay, so what we've got here, in my opinion, is a divergence. So what we've got is a data driven bottom in June last year, like I said to you, and at this point here in the fear and greed index, we've got the low, so we're in the absolute floor there. And what we did, we actually capitulated in November last year, 2022. So this created some kind of divergence in the sense that what it created, you know, aside from the price action, is what we got is a low and a higher low, but in the price action we actually put in a lower low. So there was a massive divergence there, as well as on the RSI as well, and from that reaction, you know, we've come up basically. So it's been a big divergence. So providing we can retain the structure, I would expect Bitcoin to get all the way up to here, like it did there in that impulsive move, like it did there in that impulsive move. So off this bottom here in 2018 we put an impulsive move, then we put in a big corrective move, okay, and each time it came to the bottom was an opportunity to ride it back up. So big impulsive wave 1, corrective wave 2, impulsive wave 3, corrective wave 4, and right now we're in impulsive wave 5 basically. So the charts and even the fear and greed index are revealing this to me at the moment, that a new cycle for Bitcoin began just there, okay, and what we did, we put an impulsive wave, corrective wave, impulsive wave, corrective wave, and right now we're in the midst, you know, of an impulsive wave, and the charts are telling us that. So what I'm expecting for this impulsive wave, just like we did off this bottom, which was an opportunity, we got really maximum FOMO and greed in the markets before the impulsive wave was done, and then when we came down in Corona, again making a divergence between the low of 2019 and between the low of 2020 in the fear and greed index here as well, because the price action put in a lower low, we've got divergence there. We reacted beautifully off that impulsive move. So we've effectively done what we've done here, big divergence between the ABC correction, the wave 4 correction, okay, and we reacted beautifully off it just there for the impulsive wave up, which got really overbought just there. Maximum greed and FOMO above 90 was the area to take profit off that impulsive move. So, you know, providing we can retain all the uptrend structure like we did there and like we did there, then I think that this should theoretically get to above 90 before it retests these lows. That's something I'm trying to convey to you, okay? So again, nothing I say is financial advice. Everything is for education and entertainment purposes only. But what I'm looking for is a big indicator to tell us that this impulsive wave is done, is just being above 90 on this particular indicator. So please remind me if I'm ignoring it or whatever, just tell me, because this is data and we're not ignoring the data this time around, okay? So anyway, let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now, see what we can see. So looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame, as price matures, different patterns emerge. And I think what we've got here is some kind of pennant that we've sort of consolidated and got really compressed, resistance, support, and then we're beginning to break down. So like I said to you, if we do start to lose this ascending level of support, I will actually go short. We've got a confirmed resistance retest, and right now it looks as though Bitcoin's trying to put in one last flush down, one last little wave to the downside, which is something we've been expecting, to be honest with you. So unless Bitcoin has some kind of throwback and starts to come back in and takes out that high, I'm projecting to the downside in one last little wave. So what we might have here is some kind of pennant where we come down, consolidation, and then continuation basically. Now I have been looking as a possibility of 5 waves in a C wave. So I think that what we've got is A, B, C. So there was a possibility that the C wave was done just here, but what we wanted to see is this high taken out. So it's failed to do that. So in my opinion, we've got a final 5th wave down here, and the charts are showing us that right now. Okay, so where's the technical target? So if this is some kind of bear pennant like this, it's come down and level of consolidation. The last point of contact from the resistance is the breakdown target. Okay, so we're looking to flush down towards this level here. So what we're going to do is drop the fibs in from this high here and look for the projection of a final 5th wave down, and you can clearly see a little bit of confluence lining up right now with that technical target and the 1272, which is a target I've been looking at. Because what happens is, in a trend, you always tend to get on the final fifth wave, the trend runs out of steam, whether it's corrective or impulsive, whatever, and you do usually look at the 1272 as a minimal target. I've gone through this with you, okay? So what I think we've got is a 1, a 2, a big 3, a 4, and right now potentially in the fifth wave. The minimal target is a 1272, 25362. Okay, so this is where I'll be looking to close my short. I'm currently short on Bybit. You can do exactly the same as me. It's entirely up to you. I'm currently short and looking to ride this all the way down. We'll take some profit at 1272. So it's not a massive trade from this point. I think we've got possibly some kind of last little flush down from this point, right about 5.5%, where I will look to take profit on that technical target, which is something I always convey to you. Okay, so again, it comes down, you get a wick down there, TP at that point, because obviously it can come back up and start to, really ramp up, and it comes back up against where you've opened your short. I've seen this so many times, but anyway, this is what I'm looking for. The C wave, possible 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last little wave down. Okay, and what we've got is a possible pennant there that's indicating that particular target. So pennants, what happens is when you come down, whether or not you're going up, so you come up and you consolidate like that, you get really tight and then you continue. It's the same on the way down. You come down, you get really tight and then you continue. Okay, and they have technical targets from the previous level of consolidation. That's basically the pole. You can press like that and then you go again, basically. So this would actually sort of have confluence to the fact that I think we might have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 and a 5, and then we've got the 5 waves there of the big nasty C wave. We bottom out down here, consolidate, create some kind of reversal pattern down here over a long period of time, and then we'll begin to come back up and take out that high, and at that point I'll be able to show you the target once we do get the confirmed bottom as well. So I'm looking at some kind of little last flush down here for Bitcoin, unfortunately, but it is what it is, okay, and we'll try and ride the waves together. So what we've done is broken down like this, compression, lean to expansion, broke down, confirmed resistance. So right now the bias is more towards going short on Bitcoin, on Bybit or MEXC. It's entirely up to you. So right now you could just go short on Bybit, set your stop loss on this high here, because obviously if you start to come up, you're negating this breakdown pattern and you've got a throwback basically. So at the minute you could jump into a short like I have and set your stop loss at 27266, which is this local high just there for Bitcoin. Okay, so currently short on Bybit or MEXC. It's entirely up to you. Down to the 1272 at 25362 with your stop loss on 27226, and this is what we try and do. We try and ride the waves in this channel. Okay, and equally I'll be putting bids down here as well on Bybit. Take care everyone, hope you understand the update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.